When we get a site in a unique setting that's on a coastline, we have to take into account what that setting is, the topography, and most of all the views. You have a rare opportunity when you're working on the coast to maximize views, distance to oceans, shorts to the hills and arroyos, and so you have to treat the site and the architecture as one event. I mean, when you're on a site with natural landscape and next to the coastal thing, you get inspired by it. You actually, for once, don't have a blank canvas. You have a canvas of the surroundings, and so we're trying to create an architecture that complements the natural landscaping around it, complements the area and the history of the surrounding town, and I think we've done that. I think we've created that in a really thoughtful, inspiring way.
I can't wait to see your homes.
Me too. Sea Summit's architecture is a response to a couple things. First and foremost, the region. We are part of a historical community, and that's very rare. You are not in a suburb, you're not in the middle of nowhere. You're actually adjacent to a town that has a strong history. So you can be inspired by that and you can draw off that. And certainly the architecture at Sea Summit was inspired and hopefully reflects and embraces the heritage of San Clemente. Today's homes are designed with a much more casual elegance and less formality than historically. This site is a great example of where we'll be taking advantage of that with spaces, living, dining, eating spaces that are connected and work well and also connected to the outdoors. Homes at Sea Summit will have a wonderful indoor-outdoor relationship, and that will take advantage of breezes and views, and I think it'll come up with a really wonderful architecture. So the way we determined and developed the color palette for Sea Summit is actually very unique. The homes that will be built and adjacent to the natural landscape arroyos that come up from the ocean, those homes will have a color palette that matches the arroyo and the landscape. They'll be darker and more richer in colors responding to the landscape. And then as you go through the project and get more central, you'll start to see a color palette that reflects the history of San Clemente. You'll get a more lighter color and you'll get a more Mediterranean type feel, which is where San Clemente was based on. San Clemente was a town designed originally as a Mediterranean coastal resort. And so we want to take that history and that inspiration and make it go into our color palette for the homes. We wanted to do something very special here. We think we've done that with Taylor Morrison, and the history of San Clemente being this jewel by the sea with this Mediterranean and Spanish influence. We're going to do our best to capture that and put it into homes that are relative to today's buyers and users, make them feel great, but also make them feel like they belong to the historical village of San Clemente.